The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live. Let's talk about sex. Featuring in-depth discussions on dating, intimacy, and relationships. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, let's talk about sex.
Come on.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about
Perfect. I don't hear you.
Let's talk about all the
No,
good
my
things
mic.
and the bad things that may be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Little baby, let's talk about sex. Come on, let's talk about
Twerk it. Twerk it.
Wow, we got Miss Twerker here. Wow.
I am almost positive you guys missed us last week. We are your hosts, Black Hollywood Live. Let's talk about sex. And, well, you know, everybody's doing it, so why can't we talk about it? It is the good, the bad, and the ugly. We are talking about sex today, and I'm your host, SpicyTip, and joined with me is our co-host, Phoenix White, in the building. Hello.
What up?
She's going to bring the sultry and the smooth seduction. And we have the funny, the handsome Kevin.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Kevin John.
How are you doing? And you calling me handsome. I think every guy out there is envious of me right now with this panel of women that I get to sit next to. I'm just trying to hold it together. Oh, you better stop, girl. I'm just saying. But I am so happy and blessed to be here, and so great to be sitting next to this phenomenal woman who we'll find out about in just a second.
So go ahead and introduce her, because it's really hard to keep, audience eyes off of her.
I know.
Tiffany Phillips in the building. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Stunning as ever.
Thank you.
She is. She smells good, too.
Multi-talented. She is the writer, director, producer for I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like. And you're also doing a hit show right now with Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, what are you not doing, girl?
Well, I co-starred on the show, so I'm not a series regular, but I just did a co-star on the show.
It doesn't matter. If the pinky was in there,
My pinky was up in there, and I did twerk a little bit on the show. You can see me twerk, and I got this one-woman show, I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like, that I wrote about my jerk experiences, and I'm performing that on May 7th at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks, and I juggle knives, and, just...
Wait, you said you juggle knives?
I juggle knives
Swallows
sometimes.
fireballs.
She totally
I
says she juggles
swallow-
knives.
Wow.
No.
She is a walking circus act.
You know?
A sexy one, too. So
Well,
that's pretty
thank
impressive.
you. I mean, she's the sensual, seductive one. I'm just trying to keep up. She got that intro. I'm like,
chill. So on today's show, you guys, it's pretty exciting, because not only are we going to talk about why, as women and men, we are attracted to either, the bitch or the jerk, but we're also going to find out rules of dating by Tiffany Phillips. She also has given us some tips to how to get through a date without, embarrassing yourself and making sure that you get a second one. And that's a post that she put on the SpicyLife.com, which is my website. And so I kind of trust her a little bit. I'm hoping that I'm going to take her tips, and if they work, I'll get me a second date, next date,
I don't think you'd have any problems getting a second date or a third date. Come on now, it's Spicy Marty, okay?
Oh, you guys, keep going.
I can attest to that. I mean,
You
spicy.
feeling the love on this panel?
I do feel it.
Let's make out.
But everything we're
That's
going to be
next
talking
show.
about today, you guys think that dating, that there's rules and there's games that you have to play. But honestly, the reason that we oftentimes, keep up these dating games and keep going back is there's a lot of sexual education that we're going to find out about it. And so we're going to just get right into what we start off every single show with Hollywood Hotties doing the naughty. And Phoenix White, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the news and gossip for Hollywood Hotties.
But seductively.
Yeah. So, let me tell you guys. But no, I'm saying.
Wow.
I think the biggest one right now is Mimi and Nico, their sex tape that they're about to have put out through Vivid Entertainment. It's very disappointing, actually, because she was one of the people on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta that we kind of respected, And so for her to blatantly put out this video the way that they did it, it's bad. Like, there's no coming back from that one.
Time out. You say blatantly. So it wasn't something that was leaked. It was something blatantly.
This was like, I'm
intentionally
trying to get famous.
right?
I'm trying to get real
I don't
famous.
know 100% because I can't say, but the way that it looks is like, okay, this sex tape got leaked some kind of way, got into the hands of Vivid Entertainment. Then they called them and said, can they pay them to put it out? And to me, it's just kind of like, how, if you made a tape with your man, how did that get out? It had to be one of y'all had to put it out.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, were we talking the other episode previously that sex tapes are the new thing in order to get on? Like being ratchet it's acceptable
bad.
now. And so I feel like, of course, this is a financial ploy and a publicity stunt. But at the same time, you also said something funny earlier. You said she's one of the more respectable characters on the show. Anybody that would mess with Stevie J, I don't know if I can agree to that comment.
But see, you have to, you can't think about it in that way. Like even watching her story and watching what she's gone through, yeah, she's a little, hardcore, a little rough, but she still came across as more reserved than some of the other ladies that were on the show.
Well,
so
apparently she was not reserved with this shower curtain coming down and freaking poles and whips and chains that apparently were in the video. I haven't seen it, by the way, but that's what I heard.
But it's pretty explicit, right, Phoenix?
It's bad. It's really really bad. It's like something.
Now, when you say
can't
bad,
really,
are you saying nasty? Or are you saying that
it's bad in the sense to
poorly
where
shot?
No, it's not.
I mean, would R. Kelly watch it and be offended?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like this as a parent, because she has a little girl. As a parent, she should be ashamed of herself. That's not, I understand people do stuff like that. Like I've done sex stuff with my boyfriend and we filmed it. But the way that they went about this tape and the way that it got out and how it looks so incredibly produced, it is out there. Like she is officially like a porn star. When you, like, if you see the little clips, because of course I haven't seen no video, but I saw little clips and I was just disappointed in every way possible.
I guess you gotta have goals. She wanted to be a porn star.
I don't think
So you're disappointed
I really
in her.
don't think that
You're
she wanted to be a
disappointed in
porn
her.
star. I think a lot of people do things on these reality shows in order to stay on. And I feel like she just went so far to the left, and I don't think that she would have to do that.
She's trying to stay relevant.
She's starting to, yeah.
But let's get to the real point here. How was the sex? Was that good?
You have to understand, I wasn't watching to see how they were having sex and if it was all great. I personally feel like her dude leaked it. I don't think she did it, to be totally honest. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't have any specific facts.
Spicy just got it.
Yeah, I don't have any specific facts, but as a mother, I don't think that she would have done that just from watching her story and watching the type of person she is. I really think that the dude was more of an opportunist in that situation because he asked her to do the sex tapes to begin with.
Okay, so this is my thing. Apparently, I guess in the world of the reality culture now, reality stars, this whole sex tape thing is an epidemic. Everyone wants to do it. You do a sex tape, you get the deal with Vivid, you get the 100,000, and then you end up like a career like Kim Kardashian, where you become this.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
She went wrong thinking that it's going to end up like Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is not black. That's what people need to realize. You cannot.
She got a body like she do.
Doesn't matter. But that's what made it more. That's what
Ray J's black.
It doesn't matter.
That is true.
He's not.
Kanye is.
Mimi is
Reggie
not.
Bush is.
And every man.
Chris Humphries is.
But that's what makes it so sexy to people is that she's not black. And she's dating all of these black men.
That's
but
really interesting.
If you look at it, the black woman can't do what these other girls are doing. Like, they're not getting the same credit the way that Kim Kardashian did. She is not going to turn into a Kim Kardashian.
So let me get this straight. You're saying if Kim Kardashian was black, she would not have the overall notoriety and fame she has now?
No, absolutely not.
And this is something that Phoenix has expressed before on a different
That's an interesting
episode.
perspective.
I would actually have
Because
to
I've seen
agree.
people do it. I've seen people do it so many times, and just watching the patterns, what some people can get away with, no matter if you're shaped like a black woman, or if you feel like them, or you look like them, or if you talk like them, you're not black. So it's more socially acceptable for her to be able to move into high fashion. She's on Vogue now. She's doing it big. Mimi is not going to transition into being a Kim Kardashian. It's not going to happen.
Now, the only reason why I would somewhat counter that is because other than her, I can't really name a lot of other non-black females whose careers have, escalated as a result of doing
There
a
is
sex
none.
tape.
That's why.
Yeah, I mean, there's women who've put out sex tapes. Pamela Anderson's sex tape was
Paris
stolen
Hilton.
before.
But
she's
Paris
not black.
Hilton.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that I
Forgot about
agree
Paris.
with what you're saying, Phoenix, as far as the ethnicity playing into part, but also too, Kim Kardashian is more marketable. If you look at Mimi, what are we going to put her on? Like, there's not too many ways for us to sell her.
I'm not familiar with her.
I'm not. Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, she sounds like a very respectable woman. So it seems like before this, she could have got an endorsement.
It wasn't like she's perfectly respectable, but I mean, she was a little rough around the edge. She has a little hardcore, she's a little hard, but she wasn't doing some of the things that were just I'm just gonna be out there and just
be ratchet,
totally disrespect myself and my family.
I disagree with Phoenix. I don't think that she's respectable. I can't respect a woman that doesn't respect herself. And she did and based on her dating pattern going back to Stevie J and Jocelyn and the way that she's perceived her image on the show, I don't respect her. And she has a tendency, like a million of the women in the world, to continuously date jerks. And while we're on the topic of dating jerks, okay,
nice segue there.
But see,
we're gonna get into to Tiffany's. I never met a jerk that I didn't like. Okay, so Tiffany, tell us a little bit about I never met a jerk.
Say I'm one of those women?
I'm tossing it to you.
Tiffany, talk about your sex tape first.
Because
yes, I have so many out.
Because we want to go into give the audience a little bit of how you came up with I never met a jerk I didn't like.
Well, I wanted to do a one-woman show for a long time. I'm an actress, I'm a comedian, I'm a writer. I just didn't know what topic I was going to do it on. And I didn't want it to be this narcissistic, when I was 5 years old, I went on the playground and this happened. I wanted something that people could relate to, that was a universal theme. And I think everybody has been there, where you've just, for women, been attracted to the bad boy. And for men, you wanted the bitch. You wanted the girl that treated you like crap. Can I say bitch? I can say
You can
that.
say that.
I can say whatever I want, right?
Whatever you want.
No filter.
Okay, good. Fuck. Okay, just wanted to say that word. Anyway, there was a time in my life that I just repeatedly kept attracting the jerk. And meanwhile, I had these wonderful men in my life that were courting me, doing everything right. And you know who I liked? I liked the asshole. I liked the one that wasn't returning my calls, the one that I had to prove myself to. And so the point of the show is I had to really dig deep and go within and find out, okay, why am I doing this to myself? I'm not, this isn't making me happy. I have self-respect. I love who I am. So why am I attracting these men and shunning the men that are treating me the way I should be treated? So I did some soul searching, figured out I had some stuff going on with my self-worth. I even went back into my childhood and I fixed the issue. And I just think it's one of those things with women that when you repeatedly, like Mimi, attract that kind of man and you keep going after him and you keep going back, you're not learning this lesson. It's going to keep, you're going to have to keep repeating it until you finally learn the lesson.
And that's the definition of crazy, correct?
Exactly. What is it? Einstein said it. Repeatedly doing
the same thing over and expecting a different result.
Right.
But is it crazy if you don't know that what you're doing is wrong? I think it's crazy when you are aware that it's not the right thing to do.
But I think intuitively you do know that it's wrong. You know that this is not right. I'm not at peace. I'm not sound. I'm not safe.
Yeah.
This person isn't doing the things that my mother taught me about myself. And if my mother didn't teach me these things about myself, this is not inherent what I should be being treated as a woman, or vice versa as a man. Women step on men all the time. And so anybody that makes you lose respect or make you feel like you respect yourself less, you have to know that that's a red flag.
Yeah, go ahead. But at the same time, I think some people have to get to that point to where they realize, oh my gosh, this is not normal. Because a lot of dysfunctional relationships, they begin to think that those dysfunctional relationships are actually functional. So that bullshit that they're going through is normal now. And they don't realize that it's not normal. It's like a process.
I think that's called denial. All right.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. But I'm saying people still aren't. They're still not making it, okay, this is the problem. They're not saying that that's the actual problem that they have. And I think that if you don't accept it or acknowledge that that is your problem, then you can't change it. You're just going to keep repeating the lesson thinking that everybody else is the problem.
Yeah.
Because you haven't acknowledged it. Yeah, because you're used to it. I've been used to dysfunctional relationships and I was like, wait a minute.
Well, the thing that
We've all been there.
Yeah, we have. The thing I'm dying to know, and you actually brought this up earlier, Tiffany, when you were talking about, you were attracted to the jerks. Why is it that nice guys always finish last? What is it about bad boys that always get all the women?
And yes, and it's not all. I wouldn't say always. They don't.
90% of the time.
I like the nice guy.
I do too. Eventually, we
can't
wise
win.
up. Let me tell you what it is with the jerks. At least in my past with me, there is a confidence. There is a cockiness,
arrogance,
no pun intended, to these jerks, and it's attractive. It's almost like it's a human condition where we want what we can't have. And you want something that's unattainable sometimes, and you want someone like there. It was very attractive to me to have a guy that had women falling all over him, and I was like, yeah, but he's with me. He's with me.
Yeah.
And men think like that too. Men love to have the most attractive woman in the room because they want their boys to be like, yeah, he's getting that. So it's one of those things that's a human condition where it's a challenge. The women like the thrill of the chase just as much as men do. Like when a man is putting it all out on the table on the first date, giving you flowers, it's wonderful, but sometimes it's boring for me. I've like, wow, he's putting it all out there, pouring his heart out to me on day one. Let me work for it a little bit. Let me get to know you first before you start proposing to me. That sort of thing.
I think that's also a young mentality too, because once you go through enough crap of them playing the bad boy, then you wake up and you're like, gosh, I passed up on so many good guys.
Exactly.
I just want to find a nice guy now. Yeah. So then that putting it out on the table is refreshing at some point in your life.
See,
I agree with you.
The problem
Totally agree with you on that.
is I hear a lot of times, women, they will say, I want a man to court me and do this. And, I'm old fashioned when it comes to that. I still write love letters, okay?
That's so sweet.
Thank you. The other 90% of the women I dated don't think it's sweet. They would much rather have me show up and text them and not even open the door for them.
Like honk when you're outside.
Honk, hurry up, I'm waiting for you. And have 3 girls in the car already and just be like, I hope you're cool with these 3 back here. They want me as well. So, but no, I completely understand your perspective on that.
And just FYI, that's not, I'm just saying that's a point of view. That's not exactly how I am, but I'm saying that's why we tend to be attracted to that sometimes. It could be that thrill of the chase. But absolutely, what I'm looking for in my life right now is a good man who's going to treat me with respect and treat me like the queen that I am, because we all deserve that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But, it took me some time going through a little bit of shit to realize my own worth. That Tiffany, this isn't. Are you happy with this? Is this? You're still single? You have these wonderful men that you passed up, and now you're regretting that. So you don't want to regret losing the nice guy. We don't want to regret losing you, because eventually we do when you end up with a jerk.
That's true. And then by that time, it's too late, because, the nice guy done committed suicide over you. So, it's a wrap.
Phil, if we can we pull up the I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like video so that we can play a little clip of her play her one-woman stage play?
Oh, cool. You got a clip.
Yeah, we were able to find
we get everything here.
A little
it's
snippet.
All access.
Yeah. Just so the audience can kind of see, what you have going on. And you also have it May 7th, you said, right?
May 7th.
So we can check it out for anybody who missed it prior to it airing, because you had it in New York. It was on Broadway, right?
Yeah, off-Broadway.
Off-Broadway.
I was in the United Solo Fest off-Broadway in New York. It was sold-out house, standing ovation. It was an amazing experience. And I'm going to do it again at the Whitefire. And at the Whitefire Theater, it was the highest-grossing solo show the theater had ever seen in its 30-year history.
Man.
Awesome. So I'm
you
not
were
gonna
at
lie.
that show.
I was pretty impressed.
Awesome.
And I was there with a jerk.
I love it.
Now he knows
Which one was
Did he learn something?
I was watching it and I was like, wow, she is acting out the guy who I'm here with right now.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
I totally related to it. And that's what made it one of the best plays ever. And the fact that you did every single character yourself. It was so relatable.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, speaking of relatability, how can the men connect with a show like this? What's in it for the men?
The men have loved this show, and I think that the title scares them at first. They're like, oh, what is this, a male bashing show?
Yep.
It's absolutely not. It's a universal theme, once again, and men love it because, A, they think it's funny. They think it's funny to see a woman playing dudes like that, and convincingly. Like, a friend of mine was like, it's just a trip to see an attractive woman up there playing a dude, and I really see a dude. Like, I really, it's crazy. And he's like, and I saw myself in this character, and I don't want to be that jerk. And when you said this line about men, when they do this, I relate to that. It's so true. So men get a kick out of it, and they also get perspective, because I've had a couple of the nice guys go, okay, I get it now. I get that's why these women are turning me down, that I'm crazy about. Or a man's going, I don't want to be that jerk. I was that jerk. I'm never going to be him again after seeing this play.
So it's educational for men.
like
I'm going to school you.
Awesome.
I was about to
Take
say.
weeks on a girl's date.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
I would
love to go.
I would love to have you there. It's going to be fun. I added some
Front row VIP seats.
Hell yeah.
Can I join the date as well?
take that. Okay.
Three's a crowd.
Just know there's going to be men there, and they're going to be
How are we
probably
coming
hitting
along
on
with that video, Phil?
So
Phil.
Phil's back there.
Can we hit
He's
play?
Oh, okay. This drug. And I was addicted.
She's no good.
He's no good. Heartbreak. He's a liar. And you are ugly.
You're the first black girl I've ever dated. You are black, right?
But not to me. To everybody else.
Fantastic. I laughed so many times.
Amazing.
You are fine as hell. Where'd you come from?
Just wanted to announce that tonight's performance was the biggest selling solo show.
You're my girl. You're my girl in Cali. And I am going to destroy every last bit of her self-esteem. Okay?
I ain't never, no, loved a man the way that I love you.
You think Beyonce got Jay-Z? Hell no! Sasha Fierce did!
That's good.
Yay.
That is awesome.
Awesome.
So how many
Thank
characters total are in this?
Oh, good question. I would say about 10.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not even, I don't want to give away too much. I want you guys to come see it, but it's not even just about the male jerks in my life, because, you know, there could be female jerks. It's,
oh, Lord,
it's
yes.
kind of having, you know, getting bullied as a kid and things like that. It's
Like what affected your self-esteem as well that made you make these poor choices?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I wanted to go back in my childhood and go, okay, why do I like this man who told me I need to lose 10 pounds? And there's a man who says you're beautiful just the way you are. And I'm like, I like this one. Yeah, I do need to lose 10 pounds. No, I don't. You know, you want somebody that loves you for you and not your physical and just gets you. You know what I'm saying?
Once all of me.
Yeah, you need
Love
somebody
y'all.
that will sing to you, like John Legend. Okay, write you a
That's
song.
Kevin. That's Kevin.
I will sing to you. I cannot sing. I'll write poetry to you, though. That's.
Can you just do a little poetry for me right now?
Sure, on the spot poetry. There's nothing better than that.
Come on.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Tiffany Phillips, you're looking so fly. I'm standing to the left of you. I'm wondering, can I be that guy? I would like to pop up and maybe surprise you with flowers. Or even we can just sit on the beach and talk for hours. Now, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna try to make sense. Tiffany, you the bomb, and I wanna sing some Boys to Men. I'll make love to you when you want me to, but I will hold you tight up and all through the night. Now, I believe this poem is going bad, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But Tiffany, you're the bomb, and that's what's up.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Aaron.
Good
I
job.
love it.
That was good.
So if a guy came up and said that to you, what are his chances of?
Well, first,
giving-
I'd probably laugh at him.
Not the first time I've gotten that.
And I might go on a date with him because anybody that can make me laugh, I love that. If you can make me laugh, I'm yours. Well, at least for a date. At least for a date. I'll let you go out with me. We'll go out together. But yeah, I love that. That was so good. You're a natural.
Well, thank you. I try.
That was
Well,
good.
I kind of wrote that before I got here. But
Yeah,
I wanted
he did.
to pretend like it was natural.
He knew I
That
was going to
was-
put him on the spot.
That
Exactly.
was off of the top of his head. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about as women, as men, and we date the people who aren't good for us. How do you, one, realize that that's what you're doing to break this habit that Phoenix is talking about? And then in addition, how do you recover from dating those guys that have damaged you so much and to break the pattern?
Well, you realize that you're doing it, but you judge by your how you're feeling emotionally. If you are feeling depleted, if you're feeling bad about yourself, if you're not happy, you're not with the right person. I was in a relationship for 4 years with somebody where you're just talking about this dysfunction where the dysfunction of our relationship was normal. Like if there wasn't drama, I thought that was wrong. And people get used to that kind of treatment and they think that is how it is. But I think that as soon as you realize what you're doing to yourself, you recognize that this isn't where I'm supposed to be in my life. I deserve better. And I think that takes a lot of soul searching. I think that takes somebody that truly is making an effort to figure out why.
Yeah.
If you're just living there, it's not good. You're never going to get out of that. You have to actually make the effort to find out why you're doing this and why you're attracting these people, and then you fix it. And you recover by A, finding somebody better who treats you the way that you should be treated, and B, you recover because you have a new sense of self-worth. Even letting go of that dysfunctional relationship or the man that's not treating you good or the woman that's not treating you good, that right there will do wonders for your self-worth. That alone. You got to let it go, even if you need to be alone and just be with you for a little bit. Sometimes after you go through something like that, when you're with somebody that's not treating you right, you're in this dysfunctional relationship, sometimes the best thing to do is just be alone.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to do.
I love solitude.
Hard.
I think people have a problem with being okay with walking away from something that they've been with or that they're familiar with. And if they can't walk away, then they always will stay stuck, because sometimes they'll jump from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and it becomes a Band-Aid, kind of like
It's a
drug.
powder.
Yeah.
You know, like having to be somewhere to feel full, self-full. And people don't know how to do that. So they don't want to do the work on themselves that it takes for them to be able to grow, because that's hard. That's
So-
uncomfortable.
How do you know when to walk away?
You know.
I think,
I
it's, one
think
of
it's
those
having
things
the
you just-
courage to walk away. It's
Because
not that you don't know, it's having the courage to actually do it.
The reason I ask is a lot of times you'll see people that are like, you know, they're seeking it. Like, okay, this person is great. Okay, X, Y, and Z is not working out, but they do have A, B, and C. And, you know, they say this and then they do. And you're just really discombobulated about it.
You have to sit down and be honest with yourself. A lot of people aren't very honest with themselves. They convince themselves that things are way better than they actually are. So you have a higher tolerance for those things. So like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
you start to
have a higher
compromise. You start to compromise
Yeah.
things that you as a person normally wouldn't compromise, just so that you can be in relationship with someone. And so when you catch yourself doing that, when you catch yourself feeling like this is not moral, this is not right, something is not right about this, and you can't sleep at night, when you're not at peace, that should be the first giveaway that this is not who God chose for you. This is who you chose for yourself. And so at some point you have to be able to walk away, but at the same time, don't walk away if you're going to keep coming back. Like if you know, you know what, I just want him to fight a little bit harder and then I'm going to go back. You have to,
that's a game,
you have to walk away though.
It's an addicting game, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an addictive game. The makeup breakup
addiction.
syndrome is very addictive. And so, and you want the person to fight for you and you want to feel, you know, because that's a sign of love and affection and attention. But at the same time, don't leave until you know for sure you're not coming back.
And I think also, to piggyback off of what you're saying, is you have to decide, is this person worth risking my destiny? You know, like, because there are some people that you're with, and I had to get to that point where I was like, is being with this person, being unhappy, all this stuff that I'm going through, all this drama, is this worth risking my destiny, my future, my purpose, the things that God actually has for me? Is this person worth that?
Amen.
Because a lot of times we'll stay stuck
some
somewhere
church
and we
up in
can,
here.
well, not even church, but just like spiritually speaking, like being
Epiphany.
honest with yourself, like, because a lot of relationships we're stuck in, it's stopping us from being able to move forward in our fullness of our purpose, in the fullness of our purpose. And we know that because we're not doing the things that we really love to do. We're not doing the stuff that we're supposed to be doing. And we don't have any space for God to use us to do the things that He has called us to do, because it's filled up with somebody else.
And the wrong relationship can dim your light.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So if you are in the wrong relationship,
you can't even attract.
Right, you can't even attract your future. You can't attract anything because you're turned off. You're unhappy, and when you're unhappy, you make other people unhappy. So now nobody wants to be around you.
And women are deep. Goodness. Man, I'm trying to soak all this in.
You
So-
know that. Go ahead, sweetie. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. You're so kind.
You're so. Ever since you did that poem, I just want to call you sweetie.
I'll keep that up. But no, I was going to ask, you know, as much as you know definitively that it's over, you know, there's no walk, you know, you just know. Is it the same on the 100% flip side of it when you're with somebody that is the one or soulmate, whatever you want to call it? Do you just know as well then, or is that something you also have to convince yourself or can?
I think everything takes time, and I think when you know, and I think that there shouldn't be a time limit placed on anything. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. Don't block it. Don't stop it. And if it ends up being that way, awesome.
And
If
you
it
have to give it
doesn't,
time to grow as
cool.
well.
I would love to feel that, you know, I met him and I just knew. I would love that feeling. And I
That'd be
believe
awesome.
that it's
I
coming.
know people like
Love
that.
at first
Got
sight, you
married
know.
in like 30 days, have like 3 kids. They love each other.
I
Still
would
in
love
love.
that. I want that.
You know?
So
Now, but that feeling
literally.
is rare though. The
absolutely.
instant, but at the same time, you don't always know what you're getting yourself into, and that's what you have to be careful of. And that also brings us to sex. So when you start dating someone and you think that this person is the one, or you have these crazy butterfly feelings and you want to prove that you're special and you're different from everybody else, a lot of times men and women, we will jump into the sex right away. And that's when your actual emotions start to get misconstrued, and the feelings that you're feeling for that person are no longer, hey, they treat me so good. It's more, well, I had sex with them, so now I need to stick around, and the sex was great, so it keeps you there longer. You have to be very careful with that as well.
The sex part, that always gets tricky, because I mean, who here has stayed in a relationship that wasn't necessarily so great, but that sex was so good that it was hard to leave?
I think it'd be unanimous.
Okay, it's powerful. Sex is also a drug.
A drug,
an addiction, and it clouds your vision sometimes. You get the love confused with lust, and you think just because you're getting this amazing sex that you have this great relationship, it'll blind you to the negativity that's going on around you within the relationship. So sex is great, but it's also, it can be bad. Really,
I think it can blind you or it can open your eyes. It could do one of the other.
Now explain
things.
how it can open your eyes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Like, that was awful. I never want to be
Have you ever,
again.
well, people have had a whole lot of times, like, guys will have sex with a woman, then all of a sudden they don't want to date her anymore. It's something about them that they've lost or that they didn't see.
Well, wouldn't
before.
it just be the chase of getting in her pants, and
but
once they've accomplished that, they've conquered it?
Okay, well, I'll speak from just the woman's perspective.
Okay.
I have had sex with somebody that I've known for 11 plus 13 years, and 1 month we decide, you know what, let's have sex, let's date. After all this friendship, after all this love, I know this person doesn't just want to have sex with me. But when you do it, then you start to see there's these other layers to them that you didn't have access to when you were just
the
their
relationship.
friend. Well, not even just that, but you also get to see the other hidden layers that you didn't get to. So there are other things about this person, not that he's bad, but there are things about him that I don't like, and there's things about him that he needs to work on with self. And I've realized, I'm gonna have to take a step back, because all of his issues are now starting to bubble to the surface, and now I have access to them.
So what I'm talking about, it took you having sex with this guy to figure out all this stuff about him.
Because
it was just, the issues were there, but when you're just someone's friend, even when you're not in a relationship, there are certain things you don't see until you get in a relationship. There's certain things you don't see until you become friends. It just depends. Yeah. But that other layer that I got to see with my friend that I love, it's not going to change the fact that I love him, but I saw these other parts of him that started to come out. So, and maybe
no pun
for
intended.
Me,
we're just full of puns, right?
I got it from you.
For me, like I was saying on the first time I came here, for me, sex is more spiritual now.
Yeah.
So when I connect myself spiritually with somebody, now I'm starting to feel the other stuff that I didn't feel with you before. And it's not my stuff. It's not my issues, but it's your stuff that I'm now feeling because I've connected my spirit to you. So I'm feeling what he's feeling and the stuff that he's going through. So I'm seeing all these other layers. So that is another side where I'm saying it could open my eyes. He didn't do anything really bad. I just was like, it's not gonna work for me.
Yeah, no, I completely hear you. And don't get me wrong, I think that sex can complicate a relationship or be detrimental to it, depending on the connection or bond that you guys have, or the foundation of that leading up to it. Yeah. I'll be honest. Well, Spicy, you know this about me, and some of you, yes, you know as well.
I'm new.
But
your celibacy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I've been practicing abstinence for a period of time, and first, let me say it's the hardest thing I ever did in my life. It's quite a challenge, but I've learned strength about myself and things of that sort. And, obviously knowing that, God will honor my sex life when the right person comes along through marriage. But, what I was going to say to that is through practicing abstinence, you realize that there are so many different ways, like through dating and things of that sort, that you could truly enjoy somebody in all of them without being intimate with them. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you can't still be affectionate and things of that sort. Believe me, there's
that's intimacy.
But it's still
too.
it's still intimacy.
Yeah. But to me, it's strengthened every relationship or whatnot I've had since I started doing it. Since prior to, because it was so easy just to get caught up in the sex of a relationship. You kind of just quit dating once you get to that point in a relationship when you're having sex, Yeah, I mean, you may go out every now and then, but, the whole courting, the whole dating, the whole fun, all that stuff usually ceases. So it was a great experience.
You're actually getting to know each other.
Exactly.
On a mentally intimate level instead of the physically intimate level, and that's a wonderful thing. And we're in a society right now where it's instant gratification, where it's highly sexualized. People are in one night stands. I in my entire life I had one night stand.
I still have not got my one night stand in.
And that's exactly why I did it.
Until you do the walk of shame, you haven't lived.
It's not fun.
I mean, I'm probably not gonna do it now at this point. I kind of just feel like if I would have done it, it should have been a long time ago because I'm wiser now.
I know people with several under their belt, or it's just crazy to me.
Well, no, I was going to say what people don't usually know is that there's 3 stages of love. And so the 3 stages are lust, attraction, and attachment. And so the lust, attraction, and attachment are composed through actually like chemical production. And so, people don't really understand that there's toxins that are released while you have sex. And so if you wait to have that, you can maintain your power if you wait to have the sex. And you can build the relationship based off of the less attraction and attachment. And so something that people don't know is that when you are spending time with someone and you start to feel your heart skip a beat or you're starting to sweat, that's adrenaline. So, and that's a release. Yeah.
You feel alive.
I love the adrenaline.
Yeah.
But also dopamine. And that's where the chemical stimulates the desire. That's it's a rush of pleasure. Yeah. And then there's the serotonin. And this is one that we don't hear that often about. And it's one of the most important chemicals because it keeps the person popping into your thoughts. You're wondering why you're thinking about them all day. That's actually in your brain. And then there's the oxytocin, which is, I think, the most lethal because that's the one that is released during an orgasm.
That is lethal.
That one.
And so,
yes, it is lethal.
But in my opinion, that's the one that's the most dangerous because when you have that stimulation, when you have that sexual attraction already, and then it gets fulfilled, and then it's released and satisfied. It's one thing to not be satisfied with someone. You can walk away from bad sex, but when you walk away from good sex, that's not that often because your body has just released a high for you, just like a crackhead, just like a heroin addict or a drug addict. You want that release, that orgasm, that oxytocin. And then the last one is vasopressin, and that one is keeps releasing after sex. It's like a high that you continuously have after you've had sex. So you get the oxytocin during the orgasm, and then you get the vasopressin.
I've never had that.
So
I get that itis afterwards. I get that tiredness.
Yeah, so that's when you're laying back like.
I've never had the aftershock or the.
You're doing a cigarette.
It's no longer the orgasm, but it's the release. It's the feel good that you get afterwards. It's like eating that chocolate cake and feeling so satisfied, like dang, that was good.
Yeah.
So there's stages to this. As far as the sex is concerned, but then there's also stages to the dating process. And so if you're doing everything right, you should be feeling the less attraction and then the attachment. But what we don't understand is those chemical components that come into the attraction.
I never even knew I had all those chemical components.
Okay.
I know, right? Goodness gracious.
Learn something new right now.
Well, we got a little get a little scientific, a little education on you because not everybody knows that. I always just thought, I had good sex and, he treats me amazing. I want to stay in this relationship. And then things start to go awry or sour and we start to compromise and we start to think that, let's just get that old thing back. We just got to work harder at this. But what you don't understand is every time you have sex with this person, chemicals are being released that are making you also stay with this person. So you can take some of the blame off of yourself. But
so if you don't want to stay with that person, that means the chemicals aren't being released throughout the intercourse.
It's mind over matter. I think that some people mentally are stronger than physical, and some people their physical is what leads them as well. Some people live in the flesh, and some people live in the spirit. And so I think that Phoenix often touches on when you're connected with your spirit, you will be more in tune with when you should escape, when it's going right, when this person is really on the same page with you. And so that's something that, is a whole, our spiritualness is a whole nother episode as far as,
We'll get into that.
That's right.
But there's a lot of components that come into dating, and we have, luckily, dating expert, never met a jerk I didn't like in the building to kind of go over the rules of dating. And did you create these rules of dating?
Well, I created it when you sent me something and said, hey, do some do's and don'ts of dating. I thought, well, okay, I can definitely tell you.
These are based off of your own personal experience, the do's and don'ts of dating.
Some based off of my own personal experience and maybe experiences that I've heard through friends or just in general that, people do dumb things on dates, and I think some of it's also common sense. But do you want me to read them? Is that what's going on right now?
Let's go through them, because I think that one thing that we make the mistake of is we want a relationship, but we don't necessarily know how to get that person's attention and know how to behave with them to even get to know them properly. And so, Tiffany, you kind of made like a little outline of things that you should do when going on these dates. And I think that it's tough for people. It's not easy to date, especially if you're not an extrovert and you don't want to just share and bear it all. People are very guarded.
Yeah.
So let's go over some of these. The do's and don'ts of dating by Tiffany Phillips.
I put a little comic spin on it, too. If you'll notice.
I like that you start off with do love yourself first.
Absolutely.
So why is that so important?
Well, that's what we've been talking about this whole time, being grounded in your self-worth. And then I think that when you are so grounded in your self-worth, you won't these jerks, you'll repel them literally, and you won't tolerate just any kind of treatment. So and also that's very attractive to the opposite sex. And
what is an example of loving yourself?
An example of loving yourself is knowing what you deserve. So for sure that you are not going to be with an asshole. You know that you deserve to be treated with respect and loved and adored because you love and adore yourself. You expect that in return.
So
not gonna take no shit.
You ain't gonna take no shit, basically.
Right? If he like, tells you, hey, I'm sleeping with other women, hope you don't mind, while I'm sleeping with you. That would be something that you would say, okay, let me love myself right now and probably not jump into the situation.
Exactly. And go have fun with those other women. I'm out. You lost the best one.
Right. And you have to be confident with knowing that. That's if you believe that you are the best and that there is someone else that is out there for you that can match you, you can confidently walk away. And one thing that I always tell, and I preach this all the time to my friends, is that I know that person exists because I exist. If God could create me, he had to have created him. Like there's no way that he could have created me and not make that person on earth. So I just got to find him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or he has to find you.
Either way,
he has to
find me.
Exactly.
Now, not to get off, but that's a very interesting thing you brought up there. There's somebody out there for everyone. And I think sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest, this is the problem that I've had in the past dating is like, you always be like, you always tell yourself, I can never find the perfect person. It's impossible to find the perfect person with everything I have on a list. So it's like you're going to have to accept some flaws or some things that they do have. But how do you know, what's to say if the few flaws that you accept in them, that somebody else may not have those, and then somebody, so I think it kind of gets difficult when you say, oh, there's a perfect person for me out there.
Perfection doesn't exist. Yeah. It's just perfect for you.
Perfect for you.
Exactly.
I can work with this. I can compromise this. Okay, I don't like, Kevin, that you might be like, loud
too
and
sexy,
fart in your sleep. But I can get over that because you treat me amazing and you make me feel like the most beautiful person on the earth.
It's not making everything.
You've got to compromise.
And I'm taking medicine for the passing gas in the sleep too, so I'm working on that.
I'm just making this up, but I'm just saying there's certain things that we can give. Now, if you call me out my name and you hit me, of course those are not things that I can compromise, and you're not built for me. But there's certain things that there's certain bad habits, there's certain flaws, and everybody has those. But it's what you're willing to work with.
And a lot of people make mountains out of things that are not that big. It's so small, like they're picking the wrong battles. And I think that's why it becomes bigger and bigger, because they make it so huge. And the bigger they make it, the bigger it gets. Yep. So you leaving the toilet seat up, for me, that doesn't bother me because I just go knock it down. I'm like, ugh. So it's
as long as he flushes, that's all that matters.
But I'm saying most people, they always will say, oh, he leaves the toilet seat up, it just irritates me so much, because you're allowing it to irritate you so much. Change the way you think about it. Stop making it such a big deal, and it won't be as big anymore.
Then you start looking for the flaws and picking them out, and pretty soon
it becomes
the flaw,
bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's just what he does. Like some people, that's just who they are.
And you have to be willing to move past it. But as long as the main components that you need in order to be happy are there, not the superficial, the main components. And so I like that you say, do be honest. So are you telling who you are up front? You're just pouring it out on the table?
Well, this is what I wrote. I said, I know we all like to put our best foot forward when dating, but make sure you're not trying to be something or someone you're not. Be you. Now, I'm not saying to have verbal diarrhea of the mouth and go off about your troubled childhood and obsession with cats on a first date. All I'm saying is to keep it real and don't put up a false front. Besides, the more time you spend with that person and the closer you get, the truth will eventually come to light anyway. If they can't accept you for who you really are, move on. There's someone else out there that will, which is exactly what we were just talking about. But I think that people try so hard to impress that they're being somebody that they're not. And eventually they're going to find out who you really are the closer you get. And
Quit fronting, y'all.
don't front.
Yeah,
Yes.
fall in love with
Let
what
them
people
fall
aren't.
in love
Yeah.
with you.
And I even think that people have an ideal of who they want to be, and they're not that person
Exactly.
yet. So they
That's good.
portray to be that person before they really are mentally there.
Or not necessarily, basically
never
that,
will be that
but you're trying to be what you think that person would like. So it's
True.
like, okay, if this
Yeah.
person is into whatever, so you go out and try to emulate or be, okay, I'm gonna try to be, what Phoenix likes because I know that she likes fast cars, so I'm gonna go rent a Bugatti to go pick her up for a date. Now,
Oh, you got it
I don't
like
know
that?
whose
Dang.
credit card that's going on, but clearly I don't have it.
Like, you got it like
I would
that.
pick Phoenix up for a date on a bike with 2 handlebars. But at any rate, see, I'm always thinking romantic. You know what I mean? That's very
That
okay.
is-
Maybe not.
That's good.
But
I mean,
Romantic.
That's a good thing.
good to know.
So do have fun and do look hot. I
Yes.
think that those are very important. Having fun, extremely important. You said earlier you love a man that can make you laugh. I think that sense of humor is awesome. I think every girl wants a man that can make them laugh. And every man, believe it or not, wants a woman that is funny as
Yes.
well. Men
Thank you.
appreciate a sense of humor, right,
Thank
Kevin?
you. Very much true. I mean, I think a lot of times that is one thing that is often undervalued. Like in women, men love a woman with a sense of humor because, not saying necessarily they want a woman that can talk to them like the way they talk with their boys and stuff like that. But if there is a woman that can come in and hang and put up with them and have little, fast,
banter.
witty banters and quick, can dish it as well. Oh, that's such a turn on to men. Such a turn on. I mean, we don't want someone that's just going to look there and try to be pretty and, try to be all reserved. Like men, at least myself, we like women that can fully just, be transparent.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like an attractive woman
There
that
you
is
go.
funny and smart.
Yes.
I mean, just
and irreverent.
Yeah.
Yes, men love that.
Yes.
It's not all about the bimbos.
Well, you said attractive,
Thank you.
so make sure that you look your best, right? Make sure that you said, don't show up for your date after you work out. I'm not gonna
I don't know
lie.
if I agree with that.
I've worked out
boy.
before, and then I'm like, okay, I'll try to squeeze you in after my workout. We can meet at Starbucks. People have met me in my workout outfits because I'm always working out. So
You probably still look hot though.
I'm about to say, if you see her
some
workout
guys-
outfits, that to some women, that's a date outfit that they would put on what you work out in.
I would love it if somebody
Some guys
took
really
me
like
to
that.
do a workout for our date. Like,
There
let's
you
go to
go.
Runyon Canyon. Let's go, rock climbing. Something. I would appreciate that.
Something active that doesn't involve drinking or a bar. I think like the typical date is let's go have a drink. Let's meet up for a drink.
Right.
No, let's do something different.
Not to say that I don't like to drink.
Of
I'm
course.
just saying we can do other stuff. Let's get creative.
But you know where I heard this from? A male friend of mine said that he had a first date with a girl and she showed up, I guess, after her yoga class and she was like kind of sweaty and no make hair was disheveled and he was like, what the hell?
But where were they going though?
Where am I
It
supposed
was
to take
dinner.
you?
He was taking her to dinner, and he was like, I can't, I didn't ever call her back because I was just like, really, you're gonna show up like this?
You
So
could have
that's-
showered. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, so that is where that kind of came from. Don't be
Got
showing
it.
up in your house slippers.
Yeah. No, I'm not with that. House slippers and rollers in your hair or something like that.
Say
Not
that
with
for marriage. Hello.
Silk shower
To that
cap.
extent, shower. That's just ratchet.
No, you
but
never see that. That was like a trend before. People were wearing those little silk shower.
oh, like in the 80s, you mean? Like
No,
Run
I was
DMC?
living in Miami like 2 years ago, and it was this trend where people were wearing those little silk, stretchy
Oh,
shower
I haven't
things.
seen. I missed
I
that.
couldn't.
Bonnets,
I-
those little silk bonnets, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This is crazy."
I'm so glad I missed that trend.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
totally. I'm glad I didn't date anybody with that trend either. That would have been yes. All right, but no. One of the things I was going to say is that, like, as far as I guess your physical appearance on the first date, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. Now, don't come in your sweats and flip flops and shower caps, but if you want to dress down a little bit, like not put on a gang of makeup and heels and leave like you're walking a runway or catwalk, I think that's fine as well because I think men kind of want to see you for who you are as well.
Believes that less is more. They
Yeah,
want,
exactly.
They always want
they
the
want to
less, yeah.
use their imagination when it comes to your wardrobe, and they want to see you in little makeup. Every
Exactly.
man loves, yes, they love you on the red carpet, but they
Yes.
want to see you when you're not fully Maybellined out.
Exactly.
That's when I get hit on the most, at the grocery store, in my sweats.
When you're
I think
not
one time I
trying.
actually was like, really?
I'm like, this, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about
Totally
your
true.
don'ts though before we run out of time. I want to just cover the don'ts real quick. Don't get nervous and say stupid stuff.
That's what happens to me a lot.
I say stupid stuff, but it's not because
oh
I'm
my
nervous.
gosh. I always do that.
Don't give away too much too soon. I completely agree with that if you're talking about the ass. If you're saying don't hop in the bed right away, I think that is a golden rule to live by. We were kind of talking about that earlier about the you start to feel a certain way about somebody who you don't really even know when you start sleeping with them. You think that you're closer than you really are, and you think that it's going to put you above the rest of the competition. And I think that you should wait and take your time.
Men respect a woman that is going to make them wait and earn it. If you give it up too soon, I'm telling you, or a man may like it, but he's not going to categorize you as the woman that's going to be the special woman, the one I'm going to bring home to mom. Some men do have rosters. And believe me, if you want to be the point guard of the roster or the quarterback of the team, you have to be the one that, obviously it shows a lot of resilience when it comes to, I guess getting intimate overnight. But
On the first date.
On the first
How
date,
long
exactly.
is long enough?
Well, I
man.
think that varies. I mean, that's a very yeah, exactly.
what's too soon?
I know
What's too soon?
couples that have had sex literally like second or third day and are happily married.
Me too.
So
So
I
that's
know
why I'm
people that
like-
have had sex on the first date and they're married happily.
But-
that's why I'm
but-
like,
that's rare.
That is the
but
rarity.
rare.
exactly, that's what I was gonna say. But first of all, that is extremely rare, and. Third of all, you have to know the kind of guy that you're dating and whatnot. You really have to
And
know
you want to
him.
know the woman too. Guys, I like when a man doesn't want to sleep with me because I'm like, oh yes, this is about to be real fun. Like pretend like you don't want to sleep with me and you probably happen even sooner. Like
Yeah.
honestly, because we're so used to everybody wanting to sleep with us and that being
Yeah.
their main goal.
Yeah.
Be different
definitely
and
a
really
turn
just
off.
take the time to get to know her.
Yeah,
I would appreciate that.
I 100%,
appreciate that,
and
too.
guys love it as well.
Got
Now
it.
they still may have their side chick that they're going to for that, but just let you know that they
respect
still
you.
respect you. You're still the main one, and
And so your last one is don't get pregnant. Don't get knocked up.
This was me just being silly.
Okay. That happens.
And don't get knocked up.
First date,
So,
don't get knocked
Spice, you're all
up.
taking it as a serious tip, and do not get knocked up. Very
This is what
important.
it says. Don't, and finally, the most important don't of all. Don't get knocked up, because then you're no longer dating. You're changing diapers. Need I say more? You know what the almighty Beyonce said. If you liked it, then you should have put a condom on it, or something like that.
I don't think it was a condom, but
And scene. Well, I changed it. Hello.
So before we wrap up, we always do a
make it true.
the butt naked, bare it all truth. This is one of Kevin's favorite part of the shows because you got to be honest and give us all you got. But I want to put up a pretty little photo of you for the world to see behind you while we're making you bare the naked truth.
Ooh, silky, silky.
Who is that?
Gorgeous.
Rosalind Sanchez, who? Man.
Okay, so
gorgeous.
for naked
Rose-
truth,
Thanks.
do you have an ex that you would get back with, or that you would let still hit it?
Well, I kind of did. I got back together with an ex about 6 months ago, so I don't want to hit it again. I think that was enough.
Was
but
that your learning lesson? Was that like
that
the
was my
last
learning
time?
lesson. I actually got back together with him. Like, we were full out.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that. And when I hit you up recently, you're like, yeah, he's not here anymore.
Yeah, like, yeah, moving on. Yeah, so I guess I did. But at this point, no.
I have an Instagram thing, like an Instagram post that says, when the past calls, let it go to voicemail.
Yes.
How often do we get back with people to get that old thing back, that old feeling, that old comfort?
Nostalgia.
And then you're like, now I remember why I broke up with you in the first place.
Yeah, you know, for me, it was I was with him for years, and he was like my first love, and it wasn't the same. I'm not that 22-year-old girl anymore that first fell in love with him, and I actually just wanted to be friends, and it ended up we got back together. But it just was, we are completely different people now, and I think it's like I just learned not to recycle exes.
Now, was he a jerk? Was he a jerk?
Be careful, he's
Jerk
watching.
moments.
He had jerk moments, but the fact that he was really super rich, kind of was like,
I love your
whatever. No, I'm
honesty.
just kidding. But yeah, he did, like, when we
not
were
kidding.
together,
You're
he
not
was
kidding.
broke. Now he was, like, really rich. And that wasn't the reason I got back together with him, but it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt.
You're like, there's perks to this.
I'm like, this is cool.
All right. Have you ever been the jerk in a relationship?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. Do I need to tell you what it
Yeah,
was?
yeah, dish.
Oh, God.
Dish. What did you do? What was so jerky?
Oh, God. I cheated. You know,
With the ex.
yeah, with not the one that I got back together with, but
You
another.
cheated with an ex though.
No.
Or was it a new person?
No, I cheated with a new person. It was one of those things where I wasn't getting what I wanted in the relationship, and somebody else was kind of like, it was, he wasn't very communicative, so he wasn't expressing himself, and he thought that I didn't need to hear that I was beautiful and desired.
Ooh,
like,
one
you
of
don't,
those.
you don't need that.
Those.
You don't need that. And I'm like, well, he's telling me, so I'm gonna go over here.
Okay. I was gonna make my spicy tip hot and sexy about finger paints and stuff. You guys can get those online anywhere. Finger paints are amazing. They're fun to play with. But my spicy tip now is going to be: tell your woman that she is beautiful. She cannot
wanna hear
hear
that.
it enough. I'm sorry. I don't care if she is drop dead gorgeous and she looks like J-Lo and Halle Berry. They need to hear it too.
I kind of disagree because I'll be straight up honest. Some women are really unresponsive to that. If you genuinely tell someone that they're beautiful, whether you first meet them or you're dating them, I'll be honest. Some, I guess they've heard it too much, or it makes you sound like every other guy. But it is not. I'm being honest. They don't accept
woman.
When they
don't embrace it the same way.
When they care about you. Your opinion is all that matters.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if a woman
When you're together with
if a
them.
woman loves you, she can hear it 20 times a day from everybody on the street, at the gas station, in the supermarket, at wherever she is that she's going at work. But when you tell her, that's when it has the real significance. Just like if
Absolutely.
you're the one who tells her that she's fat, she's going to care more than her coworker. So your
So if
words
they're unresponsive, they don't care about
your
me.
words,
she's talking
your
about
words
someone you're
hold
with.
power. Your words hold power, especially when you care about the person. And so, not to say that particular female might not be receptive to your words of affirmation, but regardless of whether she wants to hear it or not, if you feel that way, you should definitely tell her and remind her as often as you can.
Absolutely.
That's a good tip.
And that's
I've received that.
and I'm going to riff on that a little bit. It was one of those things because he thought, well, you hear it all the time. People tell you you're pretty. You don't need to hear it from me.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
And you know, I'm sorry, and you know you're pretty. You know that you're, and it's like, no, it's a romantic thing. Every now and then I want to wake up next to you and have you say, good morning, beautiful, or, and that just wasn't who he was. That wasn't his, and so that wasn't the person for me.
But you know what? I've also found that there are some men who don't say it because they don't want to be responsible to keep saying it. So it's not that they don't feel it or that they don't think it. They don't want to be responsible to keep telling you the same thing over and over. Because now you become used to it and you expect it.
Because women will be like, well,
so
you
I
ain't tell me.
found, I was in a relationship before where he didn't tell me because he didn't want to be responsible to keep telling me. And I thought that was even more of a
That's
jerky
selfish.
thing.
So silly.
But I have found that there are so many men that have done that.
Well, that's like saying, I don't want to give you bobble because then I'm responsible for continuously.
I'm going to have to keep
By
doing
the way,
it.
bobble is oral sex.
I don't want to
That's
tell
what
you I
she
love
calls
you
it.
because then I'm going to have to keep
Okay,
telling you
I
I
was
love
like,
you. I don't want to
what
buy
is
you.
that?
I didn't.
I'm
The
like,
first time she said it too. I was
what is that?
But just like once you do that, he's going to expect it. Okay, hey, there's
Exactly.
things you expect in a relationship. And once you're
Exactly.
in a relationship,
But it
expectations.
shouldn't be a chore.
hello.
But that shouldn't even be a chore. It should be something that you actually want to do. Because
Enjoyable.
I don't want
Exactly.
something from
I
someone
want
that
to
they don't want to
please
give
my person.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me ask, on the flip side, do you guys compliment your men as well?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Baby, you look great in that, or
Absolutely.
I love the way your
Baby,
muscles
you
are
are
bulging.
so hung.
Men have
That's
egos.
what you guys like to hear.
Wobble
No
and
pun
hum.
intended.
You're so big, honey. Oh.
Men have egos just as big as women, even bigger. And so
Because I rarely hear women that really, or at least
all the time.
women I've
men
dated.
want to
have-
hear that they are handsome, that they
They're
smell
not skinny
good,
as
that
hell,
they dress
so,
well. No, but that they're smart. Men
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
saying
hear that
going
they're
deeper
smart
than that.
all the time, that they're such great leaders, that they're kings. Men want to hear this stuff too. So
inspired by
that's a
them.
spicy tip for ladies. Make sure that you're giving the words of affirmation back.
That's right.
Reciprocate
I
that.
agree with that.
All right, back to Naked Truth because we always go off topic when we start
is
talking
so
about love
fun.
and sex. All right, our last question for
love
you. Okay, tell the truth in a relationship or take it to the grave. So if you cheat on a partner, do you tell the truth or do you take it to the grave?
Well, in that case, I planned on taking it to the grave because I thought this is it's just gonna hurt him, and I don't want to hurt him, and he'll never find out. Well, he hacked into my voicemail, my emails, and he found that shit out. So if I had told the truth, then none of that would have happened. So I think it's always best to just be truthful and honest, because the dirt eventually comes to light. So at least you said something.
Right.
Yeah.
The repercussions of it, who knows what's going to happen. But when you lie, you have to say another lie on top of that lie, another lie on top of that lie. And then it's this.
Or not even that. You're taking the choice away from the person based off of the lie or the fake truth that you're giving them. They're in the relationship based off of this misconstrued truth. And so you've taken their choice away from whether they want to stay in that or not.
That's right.
Allow them the freedom to choose whether they want to be in the relationship or not based off of the truth.
Well, when you lie, you're being selfish. Like, I was being selfish. I didn't want to lose him, and I thought if I told him, I'd lose him. And I knew I messed up, and I said, I'm never going to do this again, and he'll never find out. So what he doesn't know won't hurt him. But he found out.
And it hurt more.
And it hurt more.
But what made him suspicious?
I really feel like the dirt just comes to light.
You started projecting.
I absolutely.
Maybe it was the conscience was eating on you.
And I'm not somebody who lies or likes to lie, and I'm a firm believer in God and karma, and I think I had a hard time looking at myself in the mirror. I felt bad about it, and just like women have that gut instinct and we feel it, I think men have the same gut instinct when their women are running around on them.
Yeah, when there's a disconnect, everybody feels it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He knew something was wrong.
There's a real rift. Everybody feels it.
You know it.
That change.
And he did his research. He hacked into
I'm about to say this. You're dating a private investigator or something.
I guess he can say there's never been a jerk that he didn't like either.
I guess exactly, and I was the jerk.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah. Right, but we appreciate you sharing your testimonies and your story, Tiffany, because we've learned a lot. We got some tips going on, and how to date, the do's and don'ts, and some sex facts. So we really appreciate you coming, and we're going to support your play. Make sure you tell us one more time where we can watch it, how we can see it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and I learned a lot too, especially about all the chemicals and everything. I felt like I had a chemistry lesson or something. Again, this show is I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like, and it's going to be May 7th at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks. That's at 8:00 p.m. We're going to have wine and appetizers.
And tickets? How much are tickets?
Oh, tickets are $20, and it's just a fun show. So just come on out with an open mind and open heart, and we're going to have a good time. And, get ready for some wine. Go to see the show tipsy.
Can we bring our own bottle of wine?
If you want to, girl. If you want to.
That'd be a little hood, but
as long as you share.
Right.
All right, and let everybody know where they can find you if they want to go to your website, your Twitter, your Instagram.
Okay, well, here we go. Instagram is Miss. I know we have so many social media outlets. Instagram is Miss Tiffany P, MISSTIFFANY P, as in Paul, and Phillips. And then my Twitter is at Tiffany P Tweets. I tried to get the same, but somebody else has my name. What?
I hate when that happens.
Does she not know I'm the only Tiffany Phillips?
Clearly.
And and then Facebook is facebook.com. I Never Met a Jerk I Didn't Like. That's the Facebook page. The website is nevermetajerk.com. And my website is tiffanyphillips.net. Woo!
Oh, you forgot to leave your address and phone number.
My address and my social security number is.
Right, all of that. You guys can play with my Twitter and stroke my Instagram at spicy_Mari. That's SPICY_MARI. And you can find out the do's and don'ts of Tiffany's dating advice on thespicylife.com. And Phoenix, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Phoenix White, or Facebook Phoenix White, and Twitter is Phoenix on Twit.
And Kevin?
And follow Phoenix on Instagram. She puts up a lot of good stuff.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of good.
quote.
I just get lost on her page sometimes, And speaking of exciting stuff, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at HeyKevinJohn, or on my website, itskevinjohn.com.
I love how all y'all's was so short, and mine was like, and I got this, and I got this, and I got that.
You're a well-rounded woman.
Dang.
All right, we'll see you guys on Let's Talk About Sex next week. We're going to be getting into the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly. Ooh. Can't wait.
There ain't no ugly on this panel. None.
I agree. We know how to assemble them.
Woo, fun, you guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.